Hello, hello, and welcome, my Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your full moon to new moon next read for March 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons. Not only am I Mal for short, not only am I president of Drawing the Circle Productions, not only am I a professional witch and a professional intuitive, but I am also a Pisces moon, my Mer family. Mer. Shall we dive in? Very, very excited to be doing this reading. It is the last of the series. I'm taking tomorrow off for full moon because it is full moon in Virgo, and I'm a Virgo, so, you know, you kind of have to take your personal holidays where you can, and being self-employed, I get to do that. So let's dive in. I've been kind of saving all my love for you, as it were. Let's get down to biz. If you are new to my channel, please do like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because aside from tomorrow, I'm putting out content every day, and don't be surprised if I super chat out of nowhere. I do it when they tell me, or we book it in advance, like Drunk Tarot, and we're not doing another Drunk Tarot until... Ooh, I don't know when, but I will do another one because it took me 24 hours to recover from drinking that entire bottle of sake. But so it is with us Pisceans, right? We can swim, but sometimes we need to dry out. Let's get down to biz. This is a general reading, my Pisceans. So please take what resonates in your intuitive soul and in your physiology. Leave what does not, right? Check your other signs, right? And that's the thing. When I do on occasion watch another reader, I tend to go more for the Pisces reads because it's my Pisces moon, right? Where my Virgo reads that I watch, I tend to get too in my head, right? It's just better for me to, because I'll sit there and interpret it all day long, but the Piscean one's just right there, right? So check your other signs. You never know what you're going to find. Cool, because we're doing a What Do I Need read for this full moon in Virgo, which is when I'm doing this tomorrow, March 9th, to the new moon in Aries, which is the 24th of March. So 2-week period as usual, but it is a waning moon, right? So this is to give you some coordinates, some clues, some tips, some hints from the different pantheons of the divine with which I work, right? So that you can get a bit of a picture to kind of figure out what it is you have to wane, let go of, release, transform, alchemize for the next 2 weeks, or of course whenever you are watching this. So if you can remember, and I will do my best to remember as well, to breathe, to stay in the present moment instead of kind of woo woo woo, because I'm very good at that. This is my last reading for the day, you know, so I can stay in the present moment. You're doing the same. We are both tuning to the same now where the divine resides. Even though we are separated by linear time and space, we are all one in the quantum field in the divine sea of love. Schooled ya. It's a fish joke. Anyway, let's get down to biz, shall we? We're going to start with the Daughters of the Moon. That's that deck. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck. Mercury retrograde goes direct tomorrow too. Cannot fucking wait. Oh, being a Virgo is wonderful, but man, the Mercury retrograde, such an ass kicker. All the decks that I read are in the description box below at the bottom of it. Go check out my other links. I got cool stuff on there. I got some books, I got some classes, and help me pay my bills. None of it's exorbitantly priced. I am a Virgo. I am fair, if anything. Cool, cool. Let's get down to biz. Breathe. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One card, a Caroline Myss archetype card for this Piscean collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. Please, what is the dominant archetype within themselves, within another, or within a situation, as well as all three or any combo of two might be true for them for this full moon to new moon next, this Piscean collective. What's their dominant archetype going on? Now, before I flip the card, yes, this is a soul power. An archetype is part of a soul contract, your own, most likely, either your own archetype or one that you're dealing with, like I said, or a situation or a person or all of it. but they're neutral. They're shadow and light. And I've learned to start saying this in every reading, so when I don't use these cards in every single reading, but that you get that the shadow attribute is supposed to be toxic. It's supposed to be triggery. It's supposed to touch something in your shadow, stuff you don't want to look at, stuff that you don't want anybody certainly else to know about. That's why you keep it in the shadow. But because this is a waning moon reading, if you don't like the language of shadow and light, which is fine, I don't mind that, but I prefer the language of alchemy, lead to gold. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold, so something must be given up, released, or if you like, waned, right? Waned world. You want to wane your world. The millennials have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so the shadow shows you what needs to be healed, the toxic, the lead, the light, the gold, the healthier part of it, and you've got the queen archetype, divine feminine family for our Pisceans, our water signs, and honey, have I ever got the queen archetype. Woo! Oh, girl. You always have a drag fan handy, even if you're a hot mess. My other one seems to be missing. If somebody stole it, well, never steal from a witch, honey. You'll have more than a fan taken back. So let me read you this. I actually adore the queen archetype. My mother is a queen archetype. My whole life I have been surrounded by them. Friends, family, particularly employers. And by the way, doesn't mean you're gay if you're a man and you have the queen archetype. The queen is often the keeper of the law, the rules and regulations to abide and obey, right? Shadow attribute becomes arrogant when authority is challenged. Off with their heads! Controlling and demanding. Never. I've had my moments, right? This is the goddess Hera for me. Oh, you can't see her. She's up on the top shelf. Yeah, you know, when you challenged her, bad shit went down. But that's the shadow. We love you, Mom. The light attribute radiates the regal feminine. Now think of that. Radiates the regal feminine. Don't even have to act, right? Just like the sun, you just radiate, right? Or the moon, I should say. Uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Think of that. That divine feminine energy of the queen that protects, that says, come here, my child, right? Very motherly, but they are what? My subjects, right? My court, my people. So a very, very high, beautiful, powerful light, but a very scary, toxic shadow like all archetypes are. Since that's what the collective of all of my pantheons drew for you, let's see what comes next, because this is not typically a spread. It's what I call a card draw. Just pulling one card from seven different decks here. Oh, when this Mercury goes direct. Life will hopefully get easier. So, they wouldn't even shuffle right. Let's ask the angels. My angels, please. One card in clarity for this Piscean collective sun, moon, rising sign. This full moon in Virgo. Nope. To new moon in Aries, please. What do they need? This is a what do I need read. What do they need? We got the queen archetype. Whether this is their own archetype, someone else's, or perhaps a divine feminine protective or controlling demanding situation. What do they need for this full moon to new moon next March 2020? The angels say celebration. You got to think with the card of celebration, we're looking more at the light than the shadow here, right? You know, that radiance. Now, the thing about the card of celebration, though, we've got a full moon in this card, right? And full moon, this is a full moon to new moon next reading, but it does say that something has reached its peak, right? You usually don't celebrate something halfway through. It's usually a rite of passage, like a birthday or an anniversary or some marker. And that's why, to me, there's a difference between a ritual and a ceremony, right? Like a ritual is any repetitive motion with meaning behind it, but a ceremony is something done to commemorate, right? So a birthday, blowing out the candles, that's a ritual. You do it every year. But it is simultaneously, right, a ceremony because you are acknowledging a rite of passage. But not every ritual is a ceremony, and not every ceremony is a ritual. So keeping that in mind with that card of celebration, a celebrating queen is sort of the best of all worlds, because she's not just going to radiate that divine light of the regal feminine, is also going to be a blessing and enhance any celebration to which she is a part of. Usually in a protective thing, like I've done it. I've been at parties, I'm like, little one, you're drunk, come here. Come here. No, 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 no. There, I can feel there's a perv coming after you. I don't know who it is. Get behind me, right? I will queen, please, right? Let's keep going. Since we've got such a run of divine feminine energy here with the queen and the full moon and that celebration card, let's ask the goddesses through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Oh, by the way, this deck is the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. I do try and remember to call them out, to give credit where credit is due. Breathe. Because we're going to use the Daughters of the Moon Tarot by Fiona Morgan. As I now ask the goddesses, please, my goddesses, one card in clarity for this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries? Please, my goddesses, my divine feminine, sacred, one card. There we go. Pisceans, this full moon to new moon next, March 2020, the goddesses say you need to analyze, the card of analysis, the Two of Blades, often considered indecision, but decision is a fire element for me, so I like the interpretation that that Fiona has here with the fencers, right? Analysis. If you've ever fenced, I never have. I've been out riding fences for too long, desperado. But it is that thing where it's like strategy, where you're not just analyzing your next move, you're anticipating, analyzing your opponent's move, and then how you're going to parry that and how they're going to deal with that. So it's a gathering of information that usually eventually is acted upon, or through analysis you don't act at all. In that sense, it is that, do I do this or do I do that? But it's not element of fire, desire, it's element of air, thought. So gathering information, different than appraisal where you're assigning value. This is just about looking at it from every side. How much does it weigh? What's the variation of color? You know, that kind of deal. So interesting for so much feminine energy to go with a masculine mind thing, element of air, more logical than intuitive. Perhaps that is necessary for a queen to gather the information, perhaps to feed the intuition. Let's ask the next deck, the Voices of the Gods through the Mythic Tarot. Juliet Sharman Burke, adore this deck to pieces. Been reading this since the 80s, this deck. Same with Daughters of the Moon, though. I forget which one I had first. I love them both, right? My gods are in both of them. So take a nice deep breath. Oh, my gods, please. One card in clarity for this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign for this full moon to in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. What do they need, my gods? A piece of clarity, a clue, a tip, a hand, a piece of your divine masculine guidance and grace for this Piscean collective for this full moon to new moon next. You've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Virgo card. Okay, so your opposite sign. Now, I could tell you a lot about Virgo, and this reading would go on way too long. I am a Virgo sun sign and a Pisces moon. So yeah, I was born on a full moon. On a Labor Day weekend. Isn't that hysterical? I love a symbolic entrance with meaning. So this is really talking about what? Analysis. That's what we're known for, right? So both the divine feminine and the divine masculine seem to be in tandem saying, pay attention, but gather information. You can't really see it in the deck from here, but there is a movement of bees in the background, beehives, right? Now, honey is not made overnight. It's a slow and steady thing, and really slow and steady is an earth sign thing. But think of all the work, the collection of the pollen and the nectar and the building of the combs. It's a very step-by-step process, one that takes time, but one that takes a collaborative effort, right? So there's something in here about taking this slowly. Also with the four princes, right, you've got Gemini, which is a gallop, right? Look at the horsey movement, right? You have the Sagittarian, which is a canter, C-A-N-T-E-R, I believe. Then you have the, where am I missing? Oh, right, the Pisces, your sign, mutable water, which is the trot. But then you have the Virgo, which is the walk. So slow it down, right? Take the time to analyze, even if it's taking the analytical information and running it through your chakras intuitively. This is saying in terms of action, slow it down. Honey isn't made overnight, right? There is a process involved here. Well, like think of the intestines. You don't just eat something and poof, it goes into your cell tissue. It has to go through the process of being taken down and metabolized and then filtered out through the intestinal system, and Virgo rules the intestines, right? So there is an ongoing process in play here. Let's keep going, asking the Ascended Masters through the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, which I love pack, baby, love pack, because love, baby, that's where it's at. The Ascended Masters are going to pick one card from four suits. The suit of the problem, which is helpful. It's also half the deck, so your probabilities of getting a problem card stronger than the other three, right? But also you could get a piece of the luck, a piece of the grace, or a piece of the healing. Let's see what we get, shall we? Not so, well, you know what? Now that I look at this, I might be in this one. I've been saying the prayer, look, if I'm in this one, fine. Let me not see it right away. And I didn't see this one right away, but there's a Virgo card here and Two of Blades with Celebration of the Queen. I'm down. Girl. Breathe. My Ascended Masters, what's this, please? One card in clarity for this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What's going on for them? What do they need for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries? March 2020, please, my masters. One card. Please put it right in my hand. Yeah, I just got like a little weird feeling, and I can't tell if it's good weird or bad weird. It might just be neutral weird. Intimacy. All right, this is one of the luck cards. Not like something you stumble across, intimacy. But it would make sense that the Queen, if she is single, maybe craving a little intimacy, a little depth, right? Intimacy isn't always about sex and romance, but it's usually the context we put it in. And with that card of celebration and that card of analysis and, right, take it slow and steady, it's a process, it might be that intimacy comes in during this time. Now, I will say, with this Virgo card, remember, Mercury is going direct with this full moon. Yeah, thank the gods. Oh, my God, I'm so over it. And I see Mercury retrograde as a blessing most of the time, but this one, I mean, more technical glitches and my tripping over my own tongue. And maybe that's because it ends with a full moon in Virgo, which is a little weird. But it feels like, as virginal as this card can be, that there is some intimacy coming in here, which you'd want to kind of more experience on the waxing side of things. But with this waning side of it, it can be that withdrawal from the world into something more intimate. Really, can you do it alone? That's hermitage. I don't see that so much as intimacy. Intimacy usually involves another. And even if it's intimacy with the divine, which is what a mystic is, Pisces is the sign of the mystic, then we're looking at this regal feminine, right? Celebration of some kind with the element of air, mental analysis, with the earth sign, slow and steady, take the process, but one with intimacy. It definitely feels more romantic, sexual than intimacy with the divine itself. Just saying, that's how it feels. Take what resonates. If this is about something else, you will know it within your energy field. Trust that. Don't ever let anyone talk you out of your own intuition, my Pisceans. Even if it's wrong, it's still yours to feel, right? Don't discount it. Take the journey. By the way, intuition is not supposed to get you what you want. It's supposed to get you what you need on a soul level. Yeah, I know. That's why a lot of people don't trust it. Yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. Well, no one said intuition was about that. And if they did, they were either lying or they didn't know. Get real. See, I'm such a queen. Queen, please. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved, mine included, through the Whispers of Love Oracle. What's going on? What's the tea? What's the shade? Bring the pink lemonade. Breathe. Oh my goodness gracious, I can feel my higher self wrapping her wings around me. The higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign, for this full moon to new moon next. What do we need? I'll include myself now. What do we need for this full moon in Virgo over there to this new moon in Aries over there? What do we need in that gap in between the two? Higher selves of all involved, please, your higher self guidance and grace through the whisper of love. It's like they whisper in your ear. Club 96. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through action. Perhaps some intimate action. Doesn't mean that we need to rush, but keep in mind there's a celebration here with this Virgo card. So it does feel like the Divine Masculine is saying take action, but it needn't be at a gallop. Do it at a walk. You know, I'm going to do this. It just popped into my head. I haven't thought of this as a while. There are different archetypes, and archetypes are taught in different ways. But when it comes to romantic relationships, there are three in particular that I think we might want to think about considering that. Number one is the chaser, right? The chaser was usually neglected and chases, right? Chases after the object of affection. Not healthy. The runaway, usually abused, enmeshed, smothered, right? And so when the chaser chases, the runaway runs, but they may be running away from their own truth and their own heart at the same time. Not healthy. The third archetype, the healthy one, is the walker. The Jimmy J.J. Walker, the Nancy Walker, pick one. The Karen Walker, that's the, hey honey, poodles. That's the one, that's the one we want. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this, from the Divine Masculine, saying, walk this one, that it's not that action is not going to be taken. You're dealing with the Queen archetype. She's a ruler, right? She doesn't get her way, or if her authority gets challenged, watch out, right? Being controlling and demanding. But perhaps you can use some of that controlling to slow your roll and say, I'm not going to chase you, and I'm not going to run away from you if either one of those are in your gestalt of romantic intimacy, because can't you run towards or away from, right? Chase or run from. So breathe through it, work through it. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. And remember, that can be a hi. I'm such a flirt. I'll flirt with anybody pretty much, unless they got that vibe. And then I trust my gut above all else. Even above my own erections. Yes, I will usually trust. It took me decades to do that, though. Yeah, you're hot as fuck, but there's a demon on your back, and I know its name because it used to be on mine. Breathe. We're going to get you from the Ascended Masters. The Ascended Masters brought you the Intimacy card. We are going to get a Healing Mantra deck card from Matt Kahn. Yay! Go check out his channel, Pisceans, what he does with emotional healing and emotional freedom just for free on his YouTube channel. Matt Kahn, K-A-H-N, All for Love. Matt Kahn, All for Love. Good stuff. He's West Coast. He's got a different take on it than I do in New York. Blessed, blessed be. So what we're going to do is get you a mantra so that for the, the period of this waning moon, you have something to kind of feel out intuitively in terms of a mantra. Let's see what we get for your own healing here, my own included. Nice deep breath. Oh, that feels good. My Ascended Masters, please. You know why we're here. One card in clarity for this Pisces collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. What is the perfect healing mantra from a fishy family here for this? What do we need? What's the mantra that we need that will help us heal from this mantra deck? Just put it right in my hands, please, for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign full moon to new moon next, March 2020. Now, before I even look at it, one side of the card is the mantra, the other the name of the card. Otherwise, there's not much written on it. That's why I'm going to look it up by the name alphabetically in the bookie book. Extremely helpful. Who'd we get? Oh, snatched! Unraveling codependency. Honey, I don't even need to read what's on the back of this card. I have this one memorized, tattooed on the inside of my eyelids, but I will anyway. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Ooh, only I have to feel good about my choices. Look, codependency is a form of addiction. It just is, and it's just as destructive as any other kind of addiction. It's about medicating pain for sure, which means we don't face the shadow, and eventually it possesses us and makes us controlling and demanding, can make us chasers. Very toxic. It can destroy dreams, right? I'll read what's in the book, but do understand people think, well, I'd rather be codependent than an alcoholic. I'm like, honey, originally the word codependency came from alcoholism, right? Read Codependence No More by Melody Beattie. It's not an easy read, but it puts it in context, and that was written quite a long time ago. The term codependency has taken on much more meaning and momentum as the term has grown, like anything else will. So let me read you what Matt Kahn has to say about this. I love this mantra so much. Unraveling codependency. Only I have to feel good about my choices. When codependency unravels, you are able to move freely in the direction of your heart's desire without needing permission from others. Meaning, like the independence and the freedom to follow your heart, your dream, to celebrate your path, whatever that may be. As codependency fades, you are able to honor the emotional reactions of others as crucial stages of their healing journey without taking responsibility for them, particularly if one of them is a chaser or one of them is a runaway, to not take it personally, to go, oh, I'm just triggering their healing. Instead of the endless agony that can come as taking blame for it, right? Feeling inferior because someone runs or chases. Although when they chase you, it can be a little flattering, but then you get the hooks coming at you, little Freddy Krueger-ish, Freddy Cougarand. Why hasn't anybody said Freddy Cougarand yet? Golden. This mantra is ideal for healing family dynamics. Carl Jung, pick up the white courtesy telephone. Cultivating emotional freedom. Didn't I say that before we even... Yeah, he's really Matt Kahn and emotional freedom. And reclaiming personal power, right? So, look, it's not about only I have to feel good about my choices to raise this planet to ash. No, in terms of you following your path, in terms of you following your passion, right? Because you are, I'm feeling this is you, the queen archetype, but if not, then in particular, if you're dealing with a queen archetype, they can be very controlling and demanding, but only you have to feel good about your choices. So look at, oh my God, I have a brilliant opportunity here to wane, to gently dissolve over a 2-week period, a codependent pattern that I have with this other person. But with that card of celebration, I feel like this is one of the best things that could happen. Like I said, a rite of passage of some kind, like a birthday, like an anniversary, like crossing a finish line. And it's going to take some analysis. Now, whether that's psychoanalysis or psychology or just the gathering of information, like read up on it, right? Matt Kahn's got a bunch of really good videos that talk about codependence. It's something that he's had to deal with in his life. He has talked about it openly. And so have I, and so has pretty much everybody else I've ever known, at least personally, right? But with this Knight of Cups, that there is something gradual here that involves intimacy. So even if this is a new romantic thing, use this waning moon to be really clear. Only I have to feel good about my choices, and start unraveling any codependent pattern within you, and then your actions will speak loudly. Like if you say, I would really love to, but my gut is just telling me I gotta slow this down, right? Then it's not like, well, but if I say no, will they never ask me out again? See what I mean? No, only I have to feel good about my choices, which also means if a choice doesn't feel good, don't do it, right? Very intuitive reading here for you, my Pisceans, my Mer family. Mer. So let me give you the blessing. May the Piscean collective, sun, moon, rising signs, me included, be blessed with all that we need for this full moon to new moon next in March 2020, that we may heal. Well, let me do this, that we may rule, that we may analyze, that we may celebrate, that we may slow and steady wins the race, take the process in terms of intimacy, unraveling codependency so that our actions speak loudly for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you, my Pisceans, for watching. And again, if you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment in the description box below. I like to read the comments. And everyone's been, I think, rather nice so far, so I really do appreciate that. Everyone's been very complimentary. And this is the last reading of the series. Like I said, I'm taking Monday off to do full moon stuff, and actually I have to clean my house and do laundry. So wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries. I'll be coming back, I believe, with the sexual romantic soulmate reads in the next series. So yeah, you might want to hit notifications for when they hit. They're usually about an hour long or so. Doing 3 or 4 a day takes a lot, but I will do my best. Cool. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Until then, my Pisceans, this is our secret handshake. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.